back there, and that was again a crazy day. There'd been unusual sounds and things moving around, and then a holler from the kitchen. I went in there, and I saw it was quite a comical sight actually, and it was an amazing sight as well. I saw Mr. Garner. He was sat on the chair next to the cooker. He had an umbrella up, sat in the kitchen. And it was pouring down. It was by all intents and purposes it was raining in the kitchen.
Raining inside.
I'd never seen anything like it.
Which could not possibly
heavy droplets.
Because it was like you said before, it was a heat wave, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a tin house.
Yeah.
It's 85 degrees. It was all around about the higher 80s around about that time. He sat there. It's pouring down in the kitchen. There's nothing above him apart from the loft, and it's bone dry up there. Yeah. There's no water pipes even up there because it's solid. It's solid floor, so they're coming in from the bottom. And of course, I'm looking around, can't find where the water's coming from. The whole ceiling is a shimmer of water. The whole ceiling. And the water droplets are coming down. But then something caught my eye. At first, I thought I was just seeing things, but I saw a droplet of water go up.
Yeah.
And then another one. And then another one. So there was about 5 or 6 droplets, very large droplets. That seemed to go up and join the rest of the water on the ceiling. And then all of a sudden it slowed down. So like a drizzle, and then stopped.
Yeah.
The water, I was keeping my eye on the ceiling. The water, it was weird. It was like the ceiling became a sponge. It just disappeared into the ceiling.
Wow.
Like zoom, gone. And the aftermath of it. I mean, there was one thought stuck in my mind, and it was a vision of looking at my cup, which was because Mr. Garner was going to make to make us a drink, a cup on the side with a little bit of milk in, and just watching the rain, these water droplets hitting in the milk. That's stuck in my mind,
It's mad how things like that.
And of course, he sat there with this umbrella up and just looking at me with this smirk on his face, as if to say, "I told you so." Obviously, he thought we wouldn't believe him. I don't blame the guy. And he would believe it. Even I wouldn't believe it.
It's like now, right? I want you to just prove this to the listeners, Jackie. If you look at the 4 different soundtracks levels we've done there, they're usually all the same. Yeah. Right. Are they the same?
No.
Is there 4 different levels?
Yes, there is.
Why is that when we're talking the same?
I don't, but this happened last time.
Yeah.
Because that marker there is normally lit up. It's got a colour to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
It's just all black.
It's every time you come in.
I know. But we had the problems last time.
I think you bring these spooks with you. Seriously, I really do. I don't know what it is, because I never have this problem. And tonight again.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
But I'll tell you what, the coughs freak me right out.
I can't wait for you and Ross to come on that investigation with us.
Oh, God. I'm telling you. Right, Steve, back to the story.
He's, like I said, Mr. Gardner's got a smirk on his face, umbrella up, he puts his umbrella down, and as if like it's a normal routine, he reaches over his cloths, which he's got all stacked up on the side of the worktop, ready to clean up, his mop at hand within a flash, and there he is, cleaning and wiping everything down. It's as if it was a normal thing he's used to doing, you know, and I'm just looking at him in bewilderment. Absolute bewilderment. I'm looking up, he's sat there, by now the ceiling's dry, not a bone of water on the ceiling. All over the kitchen, everything absolutely soaked, the floor, everywhere. Yeah. So, of course, I've left him cleaning, and I'm just looking at the other investigators, and we're just sort of shaking our heads at each other in amazement. Interesting, we got the results back from North West Water Laboratories. Now, a bit technical, but I'll explain it in the simplest way as I can. There is an electrical current in tap water because water running through copper pipes generates a small electrical charge. That electrical charge is measured in UCSMs. Now, in a normal glass of water, if you were to pour a glass of water here and you measure the conductivity of electricity in that water, it should read round in Salford, probably around about 95 UCSMs. And it can range up to about 190 in some places in the country, but it's harmless. It doesn't harm us. It's just a normal standard electrical current in the water because it's passing through copper pipes.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
The electrical conductivity of the water sample that we took from the ceiling, the water sample from the tap was normal. Yeah. Normal. I think it was 98 UCSMs.
Yeah.
The one from the ceiling was 1,793 USMs. Wow. And what that basically means is that whatever this thing was not normal water. It was an electrically driven phenomena of some sort, which is very interesting considering that when I said to you I got like that thump and an electric shock at the same time. The phenomena generates an electrical
electricity
fields around the things it does. And that's incredible. That was the first time this had ever been captured as evidence. Well, you can well imagine when we went public with it. International recognition. The phone never stopped ringing for weeks on end from all over the world. Yeah. People wanting to talk with us and document it and everything, all sorts of things. It became one of the world's famous poltergeist cases.
Wow.
We had to have the family relocated. Yeah. Bottom line is that the disturbances were so high.
Yeah.
We had to leave the house fallow. And what that basically means is that we have a condition, a ruling, a protocol, procedure that we have with the councils and tenants associations that when houses have to be, the tenants have to be removed from them and relocated. That house cannot go straight out to be rented again because of the conditions that are taking place there. Yeah. It's left fallow, and what fallow means is that it's cut, it's void of any electricity in that house. It's cut right at the mains, and I don't mean just switching off your main supply. I'm on about your 3-phase coming in. It's got to be cut there.
Yeah.
We can't have any electricity going into the house for a duration of usually about up to almost a year.
Yeah.
And it's not to be rented, nobody's to go in there, it's completely left void.
Right.
So it diminishes because this phenomenon feeds on energy. Because sometimes it can feed on electricity because people have even reported high bills, ridiculously high bills that they could have never even used. And yet it's been used somehow, mysteriously. So in some cases, yes, they can feed from the electrical systems and feed from the people within the environment. Get rid of them, it's got to move on or diminish. It's the only two things left.
Yeah.
The house was left for, unfortunately, it was only left for about 9.5 months. I expected them to leave it for 12 months under the protocol.
Yeah, but he didn't.
It was left for 9.5 months. Luckily, I went back and interviewed the family who was relocated into that home.
Yeah.
And of course, what happened was, they were, funny enough, they seemed to be okay. Nothing seemed to happen with them. So I monitored that situation for a while. But the Gardner family, we had a sit-down meeting at Rochdale Council, relocated to another home.
Yeah.
The thing followed them.
Oh my God!
It followed them for about only 3.5 weeks though. It put them through hell for another 3.5 weeks before it diminished.
Wow.
So the whole incident took place lasted for about 10 months. But from that night, we've got the strange sounds that we heard, the walking up and down, the heavy breathing, the shouting down my ear from over my right shoulder, the thump that knocked me right across the room into a wardrobe, and then there were other little things like things moving around,
like little things that have been happening tonight.
There's some things going on here tonight.
There definitely is 200%.
Yeah,
because I just want to break the interview again, just to say that. It went off again, didn't it?
The screen went again.
The screen went again. I touched it, and now look at it. It's gone into a different colour.
I know.
Now that's not me imagining this. Is it?
No.
I am going to save this interview, Steve.
That's okay.
I'm going to send it to you, and you can work it out, mate. You can give me the explanation for this.
There are lots of ways of messing with things, and. Well, it has been a bit strange.
We've not touched anything, have we?
No, we haven't.
We just spoke. And then look what's happened. It's gone into a different colour on its jacket.
It has completely.
It's a bit strange. Yeah.
It is a bit strange.
You're not used to seeing that.
I'm definitely not used to seeing this.
I'm just absolutely loving your face with this.
Well, and the sound levels have gone up again. If you notice, you can see how they've gone up again.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching the sound levels there.
Yeah.
And
they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
But if you look at the sound levels on the recording, they've gone even higher. What's all this about, Steve? What are you doing to me? Come on.
So, for a poltergeist case, there isn't many that are taking place in the UK.
Yeah.
Properly documented, scientifically investigated with evidence. The good thing is, we got the photographs.
Yeah, you got the proof.
We've got the proof. We've got the photographs of the water moving across the ceiling. People, I say to people, don't have to believe me. Look at the evidence. We've got the photographs. We've got the laboratory results.
Yeah.
We've got the eyewitness testimonies.
I know this has only been like a little bit of an hour-long Halloween special, and I know that you've got a book out.
We have, yeah.
And it's all documented in the book.
Well, I got together with a very well-known writer who writes horror stories.
Yeah.
Her name's Jenny Ashford.
Right.
From the US.
Yeah.
She contacted me after having been part of a poltergeist infestation herself with a boyfriend. And she was very intrigued about the case. It's always very well documented. It's known worldwide. And we worked together on the book.
Yeah.
And it's just a single book about everything that happened on that case. And I mean everything from the interviews from every single person who was involved, the council, the priest and what happened there, about the other disturbances that took place, about the physical interaction, the hair pulling, the injuries that occurred. And of course, even to the last day when Mr. Gardner was leaving that house behind. Now, they'd taken into consideration they'd lived there for a long time.
It was a home.
At this stage, they'd had enough. They'd have to go.
Yeah.
He locked up the whole place, went and handed the keys in. 6 hours later, the council were on his phone to him. Yeah, he'd left every single window open in the building, and everything was locked up when he left. Every single window left open.
Wow.
You know, and of course, you know, like I say, we worked quite a length of time on the book. Yeah. It's got the photographs are in there, the analysis is in there, the testimonies are in there, the interviews, the whole case.
It's a must-read, isn't it?
It's known as the Rochdale Poltergeist. Yeah. It's available on Amazon. It's a paperback. It's only £7.95 or something like that. But it's getting that right information out, and it's the science side of it. It's the evidence. Yeah. So, you know, just to say to people out there, you might see a lot of rubbish around on TV, you might see a lot of rubbish around on the internet, but it is true.
I know real cases. This isn't rubbish because I've seen what's gone on in here. I've had used to it, and we've all seen it tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
And I know it's an Halloween special, and I know that you're busy tonight, aren't you, for the first time? For a long time, you're in Bury, aren't you?
I've got this long lecture to do. It's the exclusive lecture in Bury at the Mind and Body, which is on Bolton Road. That's right. It's to be there at 7 o'clock. It's a whole event, which is quite interesting because it's like £15 for the whole event. You get food, you get drink. You even get a magician thrown in for a bit of fun, actually, because someone to break my 2-hour lecture.
Well, I personally think the magician's been in here tonight because I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Well, I'm going to be showing exclusively video evidence, photographic evidence, audible evidence of the world of the paranormal for the very first time in a scientific manner.
And if you're a non-believer in all this, I suggest you go along because since we've done 2 interviews now, this is the 3rd, isn't it? Yeah. And you've convinced me. I'll tell you that you were 200%.
Well, I say this to people all the time.
And the cough made it even more before.
Well, thanks. You always thank the guys. Thanks. You know.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it only happened when you was talking about the manifestation.
Yeah, well, it happens, these sort of things.
It stopped. It stopped recording. It stopped recording. Yeah. There was a cough.
Yeah.
We all heard it.
Yep. We did. Yes, we did.
I would gladly come along and say I heard it because I did hear it. I was here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing, you see, because the worst of it is when something happens and you try to explain it to somebody who is a non-believer, they just think you've lost the plot. Yeah. They don't sit and rationalise everything and think, oh, right, it could be genuine.
But at the same time, I understand that because I used to be a non-believer myself.
Exactly.
I was. You know? And if you're listening tonight, Ros Francis, right, it definitely 200% happened.
It really did. It really did, and that's.
I can only say it is what it is. At the end of the day, if you haven't experienced it, I don't expect people to believe in it unless they've experienced it. Just like me, like my life got turned upside down because I know that these things are real.
They're real. I know for a fact they're real.
They are real.
So how can we get your book then, Steve?
It's available on Amazon.co.uk. It's known as the Rochdale Poltergeist. It's written by myself and Jenny Ashford.
Yeah.
And all the illustrations, the full case is all
everything's in there. Oh, photographs, everything.
Everything, the analysis, the photographs, everything. You'll see the water formings on the ceiling as it happened.
I'll tell you what, this is incredible. Well worth a read. I might even buy it myself. You're going to have to sign me.
Well, just to coincidentally, I spent the best part of another 15 years looking for a similar case with water formings. Yeah. And I was giving up. I'd given up until eventually, last year, I watched a TV show coming out from America known as Paranormal Witness. In season 2, there was a case exactly the same thing, the water formings, and I could not believe it. I was watching a TV show where it's raining in the house, and I just thought, well, thank God it's not the only one.
I think on that note, I think we'll go to Michael Jackson and Thriller, and I'll tell you what, guys, as always, it has been an absolute pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you.
And I just hope tonight you've enjoyed this Halloween special. It will be. Yes. I will put it out early doors on SoundCloud, but I'll put it on Spreaker later on tonight. Here's Michael Jackson and Thriller.
Happy Halloween.